In the last session, we have seen how to create the catalog and categories, and we created item. And we discussed about item attributes also. We discussed about item attributes. The item, whatever we created, we assigned to child inventory organization. Child inventory organization means real inventory. Now, we'll go back to the same item and we'll discuss few more points. We'll go to item, whatever we created. Go to navigator, expand product management. Within that, we have PIM, product information management. Click on PIM. Go to task list. Here you can find the item, manage items. So we created item within the root item class. By using the root item class, we created item. Now you can find that item. Item name is surgical table, or else you can give the item number. Click on search. So item code or item number is 1001. Description is surgical table. Now go to item which is available in the item master. The same item is assigned to Mayo Dallas inventory. I'm not talking about it. Item is created in the Mayo item master inventory organization. So item master organization level, click on item number. It will open the item definition. Now, here, if you want to attach item images, you can attach here. So no items to display. No items to display means no images are available to display for this item. So we created item called as surgical table. You want to upload surgical table images here. Yes, you can do that. Just click on this attachments, manage attachments. We are going to upload the file. Okay. Here we have different options. File, some repository file, somewhere you can keep those images. That path you can specify, or else you can give certain URL where the image is located. We are going to upload the file. So category is image. Yes, image we are going to upload. Click on choose file. The desktop. Just stored few images. You can browse those. Select relevant image, save OK. Now you can see this item image. You can add multiple images. Click on manage attachments. Again, we are going to upload the file only. Categories, the file, the image category. It's not item category, image category is image. Choose file. Okay. Say OK. You can upload multiple images with the different dimensions. Okay. The different dimensions, how that image looks like, that you can upload. Just click on OK. So this is how you can upload the images related to item. Save it.
Hello, is there any limit to upload?
No limit. As many as you require, you can upload. Here, long description. So this is the item name. Okay, item name we given as surgical table. If you want to give any long description for this, yes, you can write the long description. Here for our testing, the same name I am taking multiple times. Think this is a long name for that item. Okay. So the long name you can write for the same item, whatever the description you are giving, for that you can give the long name. Here for our testing purpose, same name I copied multiple times. And if you want to provide the very detailed description for this item, okay, very detailed description for this item, here you can provide the description. Okay. Here, let me get some description from Google. Say, I want to keep this description for item. Okay. So you can click on edit formatted description. Here you can keep images also. Images also you can paste in this formatted description. Okay. The text with images, only images, anything you can keep here. This is how you can save it. Okay, including images, you can paste the data here. So this is how you can maintain item level images. You can maintain the long description, and you can provide the formatted description, which includes images and the text. Now, we'll go through here what we selected item status as active. Okay, item status as active. Now let's talk about this item status. So here already we discussed about item status. Now we'll go back to the same page, item status page. Let me open the same instance in the other tab. Go to our implementation project. Manage implementation projects. Overview. Open the implementation project. Search for item statuses. So manage item statuses. Click on this task. Click on go to task icon. So in the fresh instance, you can see only these two. If you want to create, you can create, but ideally you can see only these two. Now we are aware of what is the meaning of item attributes. Item attributes means when you create item, where that item can be used, in which process, in which application, and to perform what activities we can perform against that item. That's how you can set the attributes for that item under different sections. Let's go to specifications. Here you can say manufacturing, inventory, purchasing, the purchasing application process, how this item should behave, and sales and the order management process, what attributes are applicable. Inventory level order, inventory, when we are going to deal with this item within the inventory application, what is applicable, what is not applicable. These all are item attributes. Now go to item statuses. If you select the status as active, here we selected as active only. If you select as active, so what is applicable, you can say. If you select as active, these are applicable, these attributes are applicable. Say costing attribute name is costing enabled. That system will attribute value, it will set to yes. You can see all that attribute value, all are yes. Here few are no. Okay. So this is how just you can set the certain attributes based on the status. If item status is active, these all attributes. Okay. So inventory item, it will take as yes. Okay. Stock, it will take as invoice, it will take as yes. So here invoice, yes means you will be able to create the sales invoice in receivables against the item which you are creating the order management as a sales order. With this item, if you create the sales order against the sales order, you can create the invoice. So you can see these are the different attributes. When these are yes, if status is active. If status is inactive, that means when you set the status for the item as inactive, if you are not going to deal with that item, okay. So if you are not going to do anything with that item, you are not going to purchase, you are not going to store in the warehouse, you are not going to sell to the customer, and you are not going to do any other activities. If you select item status as inactive, the item attributes, all system will turn into no. See this. Fine. Now we'll go and create one more item and we will see this. We will set status. Here also you can change. If you change here, the attributes will be changed. Instead of changing for this, let's create one more item and there we can change. So create item. So this user, Mayo user, got access to so and so item organization. Okay, what we created. Here we created as a Mayo. You can give the name as Mayo item master. This user has access to this item master. And this item master we included in the root item class. So we are able to access to root item class. So along with that, there are many item classes you can see. Since you got access to root item class, under root item class, what are the item classes you have? Any item class you can access. You have access at top item class level, that is root item class. That is the reason you are able to have access to all. If you have access at specific item class level, other item classes you cannot access from this item master organization. Okay, we have access to root item class. That is the reason under the root item class, what are the item classes we have, everything we are able to access. Select root item class. Okay, most of the implementations we use root item class instead of creating the sub item classes. Now you can select any one of the template and selecting finished good, or you can select purchased item, anyone you can select. So let's select purchased item. In today's session, we'll see how to create these templates also. Select. Now say OK. Yes. Okay. So number it is generating because root item class level we given item number generation is automatic. It should start number from 1001. Already one item is generated with 1001. The next number it would be 1002 because the frequency we given as 1. Okay, increase by 1 we given. We'll create one item. So that is say surgical lights. Okay. Surgical light. Now we selected a template, right? Here, select unit of measurement. Surgical lights, how you measure, as a each you measure. You can select each. Now go to specifications. Go to purchasing. Purchased, yes. Purchasable, yes. From where it is taking? From the template. Customer ordered, yes. Okay. And customer ordered enabled, yes. And if you go to inventory, it is setting yes as per the template. In template level, what is set to yes, that it is displayed. Now I am going to give the status as inactive. For this item, I'm giving the status as inactive. And if you see here, inactive means all no. That's what we could see here. Inactive means you can see all or no. The same you can see here. Since we selected item status as inactive, all attributes are set to no. Go to sales and order management, set to no. Go to purchasing, set to no. So here what we have to understand is, here let me discuss. So when you create item, okay, you can default item attributes from template. That is one option. Or else set item attributes manually. So when you create item, if you don't select a template, you can go on to select item attributes through manual process. You can go on to select yes, no, and all you can select. You may use the template or you may set manually, but system will override these statuses based on the item status. Item status can override item attributes. Here item attributes means item attribute related values, yes or no or something else what we have it. So this is the point you have to understand. Okay, when you create item, you can select the template, it will copy the attributes, and you can one system will select, you can override through manual process, or else don't use the template, directly you set the attributes through manual process. Whatever it may be, the process you follow, it may be you copy the attributes from template, or else the manually you set attributes. Ultimately, system will override those attributes based on the status. If status is active, okay, whatever you are selecting, that would remain as it is. If status, if you select as inactive, it will just override, okay, all those attributes. What are the statuses are available as per this status. If you want to change, you can change here. See, even if it is inactive, okay, even status is inactive, you want to purchase it. Okay, even the status is inactive, you can set to purchasable is yes. Okay, purchased yes, purchasable yes, you can set. That means even if you set this status as a yes, when you set the item status as inactive, still it will allow you to purchase against that item. The item would be available to select in the purchase orders. So how you are going to manage your business process, what controls you want to apply for item level with the attributes that you can set here, or else you can create one more. Okay, so partial process. Okay, you can create partial process. If you select that status for any item as a partial, your partial means maybe purchasing. So in that item status, you can set certain attributes. Okay, you can set certain attributes, or else here you can keep these as a no only. See, no. And you can select this inactive status, click on duplicate. It will copy all the attributes. The code is ERC I am giving, means we do the procurement. Name I am giving only purchase. Okay. Description also I am taking this. You save it, later you can update. Say okay. So this is the new item status. Attributes all copied, whatever available at inactive status, since we copied this. Here you can set, if you select this item status for any item. That item can be purchased, only purchased. You cannot store in the inventory, you cannot sell to the customer. In that case, here you can set to purchasable, purchased as yes. Now save it. And here also save so that it would reflect. Set life cycle as a production. Ideally, a life cycle is not applicable for this sort of items which we get directly into inventory. If you are going to use any items in the manufacturing process, for those processes only life cycle is applicable. Anyway, since mandatory we are selecting, once you select the value, the mandatory will become optional. Now just save it. The sequence generated item numbers already exist. Okay. Somebody reset that number since to item class level. Now open another tab. We can go to item class. So this is how we see the issues in the practice instance if we use the root item class for practice purpose. When you practice, you create your own item class, use it so that nobody will touch. Since root item class, everybody will start working on the root item class only. Okay, they will change for their practice purpose. In reality, most of the implementation we use root item class only for item creation. Depending on the client, if they want to have a different numbering for different items, okay, etc., we can use the different item classes. When you practice better, you can create your own item class and you can use it. That already we have seen how to create our own item class. So item classes, go to manage item classes. Click on go to task icon. Select our root item class. Click on edit. Go to item management. Okay, somebody used 1006 number already. So that is the reason it is giving the error message. Here you can say the item number should start from 2001. Save it. Now click on save. The sequence generated item number already exists. You must update the number generation method. Yes, you did that. Say save and close. It's not fetching.
Maybe we need to re-enter
First,
the
we'll
item
close and come back. Here it is triggered. The item number it is triggered. That is the reason.
Yeah.
Showing like that. It is displaying with a mask, but it is triggered, allocated, and it is checking. Right now, select our item master. Select finished good or purchased item template. Say okay. Say yes. Say item description is surgical light. Now I'll select item status as only purchase. Life cycle is not applicable, but field is mandatory. You can select production. And here as a mandatory, we have to provide how we measure this item. Nothing but a unit of measurement. Let's say each. And go to specifications. In case of item status, okay, only purchase related attributes only we set to yes. The same it will reflect here. You can go and see it. We go to purchase. Purchased and purchasable, yes. Rest of all are known. So this is how you can create your item statuses to set the behavior for that item. Okay, to set the behavior for that item. Now, anyway, we are creating this item. This item will assign to our inventory organization also. So Structures you don't need to create, that is related to BOM BOM application related setup. And go to associations. Go to associations. Here you can change to active only. Okay, because we need all the attributes we want to use in all the processes. So assign this to our child inventory. So Mayo dollars inventory. Search, select, and which template you want to use. Purchased item template, you can select. You may select different template at this child organization level. As per the template, attributes will be overridden. And now you can save it. Is the following error orderable on this web way enabled if customer order is enabled and configured? I think it is not reflecting. 1 second. Go to specifications. The status was not reflecting. 1 second. Really, like online, it should happen. 1 second. Cancel and create again. There is no other option. When you change, it has to reflect immediately. It is not taking the change immediately. So we'll create again by directly selecting the status as active. So create item. Select template. Say OK. Status is active. Phase is not applicable, but you can select production since mandatory. And select unit of measurement. You can select each. So go to associations. Under specifications, you don't need to check. Already template we selected. From template, it will default. And other side, status we select active. Active means so the same attributes will remain as it is. If you change accordingly, it will reflect. See here, purchasing, everything is there. Order management. Okay, inventory. Now go to associations. We are going to assign this to child inventory. IO dollars inventory. Select and select template. Purchased item. Say OK. Apply. Click on that. So this item is assigned to this dollars inventory. Now you can go to categories. So add to the category. So Mayo item catalog. That this item should belongs to which category? So medical equipment. Say save and close. Okay, save. Okay, since from this page we are trying to create the item, it is reflecting the previous item only. Now you can go on to check. The item is saved. You can go to manage items. Here you search with the surgical. You will find two items. One is surgical table, another one is surgical light. So that is, you can see always that is created in which item master, that is assigned to which child. If you want to assign to few other child organization, from here you can check that item is assigned to how many child inventories, that you can check and you can assign from here. Okay. So that is the purpose of item status. Okay, that is the purpose of item status. Hope it is clear to everyone. Okay, so when you create item, after assigning the template, system will default the attributes which are available at template, or else after assigning the template, what system is defaulting, those you can change also. But ultimately, system will look at what is the status of item. Based on the status only, it will update the attributes. That's what we have to understand. Now we'll talk about item templates. Okay, we'll talk about item templates, where we can create the item templates. Item templates we can create at item class level. You can create and you can associate with the item class level only. Okay, separately you cannot create. Let's see how to create the item templates. Now you can go to item class. Here we have item class. Go to tab called as templates and formats. Go to templates and formats. Here you can maintain the templates, item templates. So these are the templates and created and maintained at root item class level. Whatever we have at root item class level, these will be copied to every item class. Under this root item class, what are the item classes we are going to create? These templates automatically will be copied to item class level. If you don't require, you can remove those. Okay. So now anyway, we are not talking about item classes under root item. Generally, we use root item class only. If you want to use under root item class, if you have multiple item classes, those item classes level, you can maintain the templates. Or else if you have maintained at item class level, those will reflect to all the item classes. Now, here, enable filter. You see the item classes, what we are using. Okay, so item templates. Item templates, what we are using. Okay, purchased item. You can see purchased item. So within this root item class, we included our master inventory. You can search with our master inventory name here. So the master inventory name we given as Mayo item master. That is a code search. Now see, since we selected within this root item class our item master organization, the purchased item template is assigned to our item master organization. That is the reason when we are creating item with this, we are able to see those templates. You create item, when you select item master, here we are able to see all these templates. Reason, this item master is included within this. Within this item class, what are the templates are available, all system is allowing to use by this item master organization. Here you can search directly. Ignore this purchase, just you search with this item master, search. So it is assigning all the templates to this item master organization, which templates are available at this item class level. Okay. Since we added our item master organization within this root item class, within this root item class level, whatever the templates are available, automatically system is assigning those templates to our item master organization. That is the reason when you create like items, you are able to see the templates here, which are assigned to this master, we can say item master. Okay, item master level, which are assigned through this setup, those it is displayed. Here you can search for purchased item template. This is the template we are using. You can click on this template. How this template is defined, you can see. See this template, you can go to specifications. Here you can see purchased item. You can go to specifications. If you go to purchasing, the purchasing tab, template level, they given purchased as yes, purchasable as yes. That's what system is taking, right? When you use customer ordered yes, customer order enabled yes, inventory, item yes, stocked yes, is all it is showing. And this template level, nothing is set as item status. If you set item status also here, when you create the items by using this template, the same it will default. You don't need to select. So whenever you create the item by using this template, system should select item status as active. Life cycle, it should select as a production. Okay. So if you set like this, and if you create the item, it will select all those. Here, go to purchased item. Say okay. It is taking item status and life cycle. It is taking. Why it is taking? Here we are setting. Here we given. We given, that is the reason it is taking. If you don't give here, it will be blank and you have to select. The same way, what are the other parameters or other attributes you want to set yes or no for this template? You can decide here. That's how your system will reflect when you create the item. Yep. I'm not creating item here. Cancel it. Right. Now we'll see how to create our own template. How to create our own template. If you want to create our own template, you can click on create icon. Okay, you can give the name. You can give the name as Mayo. Okay. Say purchasing item. You can write in the description. This we are going to purchase, and you want to store in the inventory, and you want to sell to the customer. Accordingly, you want to give the attributes. And you can select the organization name. This template you want to assign to which organization? Mayo item master. Search. Say okay. And say okay. Okay, if you set as a default, okay, if you set as a default, and it would be defaulted to, if you use this item class, okay, if you use this root item class, system will select this item, this template only as default for the item creation. You don't need to set as default. Whatever you require, we want to choose it. No need to set default. If you set default, this only will be defaulted as a item template for every item which you create by using this root item class. No need to set as a default. Say okay. Now, so this is the name we given, Mayo purchasing item, and below you can see the same name is displaying, and this complete information is related to the template only. Now, if you use this template, automatically system should take item status as active, life cycle phase as production, and user type, user item type, it should select as purchased item. Okay, purchased item, user item type. Okay, it's just for classification. And what parameters it has to take how. And select purchased yes, purchasable yes, and go to sales and order management. So customer ordered yes, a customer order enabled yes, and go to inventory. For our testing purpose, I am touching few attributes only. Okay, as per requirement you can set. Okay, as per requirement you can set required attribute. This is how you can set, and you can save. Click on save so that the template can be saved. Template is saved that we assign to our item master. Now, by using this, if you want to create the item, this template would be available. By using the root item class, if you are going to create the item, the template would be available. You can select and you can create the item. Select item master and root item. here you can find what are the template we created. Here is the template, Mayo purchasing item. You can say okay. So within that we given status, okay, life cycle, those details we given. These three we given. Okay, those three we given. 1, 2, 3. These three we given. The three system is default. Fine. And you can give the description. Any description just for testing. And here you can set unit of measurement, how you measure these items as each. And go to specifications. We set very limited attributes. Those only you can see. If you go to purchasing, only 2 attributes we set as yes, purchased and purchasable. These are copying from the template what we given. The same way, sales and order management, only these 2 we set. Inventory, we set these 2. In other areas, nothing we set. What by default system takes that it takes, but apart from that, template level, we didn't set anything. Okay, template level by default, what information is available, that only it will take. If you go to say manufacturing level, whatever the information it is just fetching, that same it will take. Here nothing is fetching. But even it is not here, if you don't set any attribute, what it should take at item level, okay, what Oracle decided, accordingly it will select. You go to manufacturing. It is taking few values as a standard and no. This is how that's how they design the solution. Nothing is here. Okay, template level, nothing, but some default information it takes if you don't select anything. Okay, so that's what you could see here. So this is how you can create the item with our own template. Now we'll see how to copy and create new template. Now we have seen how to create the template from the scratch. Okay, how to create the template from scratch. We have seen how we created by clicking on create. We given the name and we are setting all the attributes. So what you want to do is you want to copy the template, and with the template you want to create the new template, and you may change certain attributes as per our requirement. Here is the purchased item template. I am selecting this purchased item template. If you want to copy, which template you want to copy, you have to select. I'm selecting purchased item template. Now you can click on copy. This template we are going to copy. If you are copying this template, within this template, what are the attributes we have, all system will copy. Okay, what are the attributes we have in the purchased item template? These all attributes we are going to copy. After copying in the new template, you can modify if you want to modify. So select any one of the template which you want to copy and create new template and click on copy. Okay, which template we are copying? Purchased item template. This new template, what we are creating by copying this purchased item template, that you want to assign to which organization. See here it is giving organization code. Nowhere we have seen as organization code, but at the time of inventory organization creation, we have 2 fields. One is organization, other one is organization name. They should include the term called as code, but they ignored. It shows as organization. Only here you can see clearly the field is actual field name is organization code. Okay, what is our item master code? MIM, Mayo item master. Search, select, just click on apply, click on that. So by copying this template, we are creating the new template, and that we are assigning to this item master organization. I'll say okay. Okay, I'll say okay. Now here you can see copy. Okay, is showing as a copy of purchase item. This is the template name it is taking. Okay, we can edit this. We can edit this. So whatever we have in that, the same system will display here. Whatever we have in the purchased item level, item template level, same it is displayed. This is how you can create. You can click on save. Okay, so this is the one which we copied and created. So you can just click on edit, select the template which you created by copying. You can click on edit and you can change the name. Say my new purchased item template. Say okay. So this is how you can create the new templates from the scratch by selecting all the attributes, whatever is required as per your business process. The item template, with the help of item template, you can decide the item can be used in which applications, in which process, and how that item should behave with a respective action. Is all you can set the item template level, create from the scratch, or else copy template from the existing template. And many templates Oracle is providing as per your requirement. You can change those template related parameters also. Okay, template level parameters. Now this root item class level, if you see here life cycle phases, we have these 4 life cycle phases. Okay, 4 life cycle phases. Because here we have 4, that is the reason the 4 it is displaying when you create item. You create item, whatever we associated at item class level, those it would reflect this item class level. Okay, 4 life cycle phases are given. So when you create item, you can create item without template also. You may set the parameters or attributes through manual process. Okay, here what are the 4 life cycle phases we have? The same it will display in the life cycle phase field. For design, production, and obsolete and active. Same you can see here. These are the 4 phases. If you want to add, you can add. We have seen life cycle phases page also, right? From there you can create and you can add it. Okay, you can add. You can go to life cycle pages. Click on search. Many are created. Many are created. We can create whatever required. Oh, so some manufacturing product related draft item, that is a phase. If select the draft means it is part of the design phase or development phase. Where exactly that is applicable, you can define like this. So I given space, fill the space with underscore. So it's a one close. Now that life cycle phase you can add here also. Okay, so this is we created just now. We have draft item. You can apply. You can add. So when it is available here, it would be available when you create item. It's not coming. If you close and do reopen, it will display. So that's how this life cycle phase you can create and you can assign at item class level. By using that item class, when you create the items, those phases would be available and you can select exactly that item is standing at which phase. But ideally, that is required for manufacturing applications only. What are the items we are going to maintain within the inventory, like purchasing and selling? For those processes, that is not at all required. Since the field we have, we should be aware of that, how it works. You can see here, M draft item, you can select. So that's all about templates. Okay, we discussed about templates also. So we'll just check if anything we have to discuss again. So item class, and item class, if you go to item class, Most of the things what we have to understand, we discussed. And make sure that item class level, this checkbox should be enabled. If this is disabled by using this item class, you cannot create the items. Okay, make sure that item creation allowed checkbox is enabled at item class. Under basic, okay, you can say since the root item class, under this, what are the other item classes are available, it is displayed. Okay, it is displaying all this. Fine. And under item management, we have seen how to set the number generation, etc. Okay. So we given 2001 as a item number. The same number it started triggering. Created one more item as a surgical light. For that item, it is triggering the same number 2001. And description user defined. That is the reason when you create item, okay, user has to enter the description. And other points, security we discussed. Okay, security like here, security we given different levels. Click on filter. Here, search with our username Mayo. So for this person, we given access to these two organizations with the full permissions. Below you can see. So this is enough. Okay, this is enough. Still, if you want to give the permissions, if not these people, which role people can have access to these two organizations to create items to assign? What are the permissions we have? With all these permissions, who can deal with these organizations? That also be given. So that you can search with the organization as M, it will display. Search with IM. Okay, so that is assigned to these two roles also. If this role is assigned to any person, that person can have access to this root item class by using this root item class. So those people who got access to this role, those people will be able to create the items, and who has access to product manager also, that users who got access to product manager role, those people also will be able to create the items by using this. And other point is dollars inventory. Okay, so they can assign, okay, who got access to these two roles, they can assign the items to this dollars inventory. And permissions also be given. You can select anyone. You're given below full permissions. We'll see how to give limited permissions, how to restrict the user to do very specific activities. Those points also we'll discuss. First, we have to understand about how to create our own roles that we call as custom roles. We'll have one session on custom roles concept. Okay, how to copy and how to create the new roles, how to create roles from the scratch, how many type of roles we have, how to simulate the roles, how to edit the roles. We'll discuss all those points. There we will just, once we create a few custom roles, we will just select the same role here and we'll set the privileges. We'll discuss that later. Another point is transactional attributes. Here, transaction attributes by default not required. Transaction attributes means by using this item class, if you are going to create the item, if you want to set some different attributes which you can use in the different applications that you can define here. You can create one transaction attribute called as, for example, type. Okay, the internal name also type. And so I'll select the order capture. Okay, I'm selecting order capture. And the unit of measurement is each only. Each. So data type, I can select some string. I can create one value set. In that value set, I can maintain all the types. Okay, I can maintain all the types. And when we go and create, here I selected what? Order capture. Order capture means order management sales order. When I create the sales order, if I select item, which is created by using this root item class, for that item, once you select that item, it will open transaction attributes. If I select item called as surgical table, it will ask us to select surgical table type also. Those are the additional attributes. When we are going to create the transactions with the specific root, specific item class related items, if you want to capture any additional values, here you can define, and you can create one value set. Okay, you can create one value set, and the value set you can create all the different type of surgical tables, so that you can select that value set here when you are going to create the sales orders. Okay, sales orders, order capture means sales order. I mean sales order creation, the order management. With this root item class, what are the items you created? With those items, if you are going to create any sales order, once you select item, it will ask for item type also. That type you can select from the value set what you are providing here. So that's how you can use this additional attributes also, so depending on your process or application. So attribute groups and all, just we have seen whatever we have seen, those are the attribute groups. So here, if you go to operational and all, there what we have seen, those are the groups only, attribute groups. Here root item class, we have like here, if you set OK or else, you can select. So you can go to this operational attributes. Okay, manage operational attribute groups. These are the all the attributes are grouped. Okay, all the attributes are grouped. Say, for example, here I want to search for one group called as purchasing. Your item class you are creating. Where is that setup? Here, item class. Okay. Here you can add the attribute grouping. You can just give the some name. Remove this. I'll select some attributes grouping. 1 second. Wait for a moment, it is just. It's taking time. I should leave it with this. We ideally we don't use also. Later I'll show you it's not fetching, supporting. We'll see that. Ideally that we don't need to use it, not required also. Life cycle phases already we have seen. Okay, life cycle phases. This is how you can add. These only will be reflected in the item creation time if you use this template, this item class. When I talk about templates, okay, you can select. Here you can see all the templates. Just removing this. Enter. It will display all the templates which are associated with this root item class level. These are the templates you can create and you can assign. So apart from the templates, from template, what system will do? System will default the attributes. Apart from template, if you want to default some additional attributes also, you can go to import formats. From here also, you can add additional default attributes for this item class level. Okay. So here you can add few additional attributes also. can give some name. Source format, you can select. So make or buy item or different. So different source format, you can select. Sales account related attributes, or list price related attributes, or user item type related attributes. So certain you can select, or else you can select, oh, let me select make or buy related attributes. Okay, the format name I'm selecting. Here you have certain attributes. So these are the different attributes. You can select certain attributes and you can add here. On top of template, what it will fetch. So this item class level, these attributes also can be fetched. Let's say, for example, default buyer need to be selected, or back-to-back enabled. Any attributes are available with that, it will display. Below it will display. Here, say, we want to add few additional attributes. Some engineered attributes you want to add. You can select this attributes, available attribute as a engineered, and click on add. It will display here as a selected. You click on this. Okay. Below it will show required and inherited attributes. So that means, okay, if you are going to deal with this selected attribute, okay, which attribute? This is attribute. So for that, what information you have to provide, which are the dependent attributes need to be provided in the system, those also you can select here. So ideally, this is also not required. We don't need to do anything. We can set at a template level. Mostly we manage with the templates only. The additional attribute selection, generally we don't set at this item class level. Just for information, just make a note of that point. So this is all about understanding about root item class. Most of the implementations, we use root item class only to create the items. In some cases, in some implementation, client says we need different number, or else all the items access we don't want to give to so and so people, and we want to give, we have a classification of people who can create these items, who can create so and so items. So if there is a scenario, we can create the different item classes, who need access to which item class, and what number need to be generated when you create items by using that item class. Accordingly, you can do the item class definitions. Okay, the most of the implementations, we can go with the root item class. The reason is the maintenance will become easy. Otherwise, you want to give access to one user. So in which item class, which organization, that is a big task. And sometimes you may just you may get confused in terms of assignments. And again, that will become big task. Okay, or else say, for example, one user is required access to, say you created 5 item classes. One user is required access to those 5 item classes. Now you have to complete it, you have to start your work like going to each and every item class and giving the permissions, selecting the item master organization, select that username, or you may select the role and which child organization, this and that, many things we have to select. When it comes to maintenance, you have to invest more time to deal with those item classes, permissions, etc. So if you have a single item class, our job will become easy. With the different item numbers, nothing they can achieve. So if they want to go with the different numbers, different permissions for different people for different item classes, then we may create different different item classes on the root item classes. Yeah. So this is all about item class. So hope it is very clear to everyone about item classes. Unit of measurements also we discussed. We discussed about unit of measurements. Apart from that, we have to discuss about conversions also. That we will see later. First, by using this, okay, we will just create the transactions and we'll see. Later we will talk about it. Say create unit of measurement conversions. Okay, we didn't discuss about it. Just I navigated to the page and we didn't complete that. That we will see later. After some time, we will see that now those are not required. First, with unit of measurements, how to create item, we have seen at the time of item creation. We have to select unit of measurement. With that item, we'll create the transaction, how it would reflect and all we'll go through. After that, we'll see how to create the conversions between two unit of measurements. So item type also we have seen, it is just value. A classification based on that, based on item type, you may generate the reports and you may perform some activities. Okay, that just for type is the item classification. Okay, to classify the items, which type of item is that, so that you can create that. Already we have seen the item types Oracle is providing. You don't need to do anything with the item types. So we have seen that manage item types. If you want to create new types, you can create those, you can select at the time of item creation. Okay, so this is a lookup. Okay, whenever you create the item, all the values, whatever the values are available over there, all the value system will allow us to see and you can select. So there you don't need to do anything because those are created in the lookup. Lookup means predefined values. Okay. If you want to get this item, user item type, here they are showing as a user item type. Here you can see as a item type, both are same. Okay, item type here, task name. There as a field they are giving as a user item type. If you want to default item types when you create the items by using specific item class. So item class level, what are the templates you have, those template level you can set. Okay, so that if you set a template level item type, the same will reflect here when you create the items by using any item class. So these are the different item types you can add and you can select. So that's all about item types. This is a lookup. Lookup means predefined values. By using the lookup, you can create the predefined values. Rest of setups also predefined only. If you have a with a lookup, this lookup can be accessed from some different pages also. That is the flexibility. It can travel across the different pages also wherever this information is required. That is the advantage of lookup. If you create in one page directly without lookup concept, those you cannot access to create certain conditions, etc. Maybe for accounting purpose, it may be for some other process related controls or any other purposes. You cannot. If it is a lookup related information, the lookup is very much flexible to use in various aspects. And another point is life cycle phases we discussed, even it is not related to us since it's a mandatory value at the time of item creation. We have seen how to create the life cycle phases, how these life cycle phases can be assigned at item class level. With that item class, if you create the items, how these life cycle phases can be displayed. We have seen that. Okay, but ideally it is required in the manufacturing process. So, but they made it as mandatory. Since it's a mandatory, always you select as a production. Production means you're not talking about any manufacturing. It's directly the final outcome of the product. That is the item which we are maintaining in the inventory. Item statuses also we tested, like active means what attributes it has to set to yes, it should be set to no. In case of inactive, how it has to behave. Or else you can have a different statuses, but Oracle is providing only two statuses, active and inactive. So active means most of the attributes are yes, inactive means all attributes are no. As per your requirement, you may create new attributes. We have seen. So purchase only item status, there we set only purchase related attributes is yes. Okay. So if you assign this item status to any item, so that item you can purchase. Rest you cannot do anything with that. You cannot store in the inventory, you cannot sell to the customer. So item templates also we discussed. Okay, what is the purpose of item templates? To default item attributes, item creation time, we can use the template. If you don't want to use the templates, the option is you can go to provide the attributes through manual process. So always we use the templates only. Okay, when you create item, always we follow the practice of creating item by using the template. Manual item creation process, manually setting the attributes is a big task. Okay, sometimes we may remember all the attributes which we have to set, sometimes we may forget. So that is the reason, if you fix those attributes at template level, whenever you select, it will be defaulted. You don't need to remember anything. You should know how, which templates you require, which template you are going to use for which process. Accordingly, you can create the template. If you want to create the template from scratch, you can create, or else you can copy the existing templates and you can create the new templates. Those templates you can assign to your item master organization. The same way we have seen the item catalogs also. Okay, within the catalog, we created categories, and we have seen very flat catalog and category creation. Apart from that, multiple hierarchies also, how to create the multiple hierarchy based categories within the catalog also we have seen. In the, I think, last session or prior session, we discussed and we have seen in the system how to create the categories and catalogs. And the same category and catalog where we have to assign at item class level, right? So item class level, we have to assign, item class level, not item level. And you create the item, you can select that item is belongs to which category. Okay, the item is belongs to which catalog, within that catalog, which category. Ultimately, category only we are selecting. The item is belongs to which category we are selecting. Whenever you select any category for item, automatically that will be grouped into that category only. That you can see. You can go to catalogs and there which items are available in the system, which falls under which category, you can go and check. We discussed about item attributes also. Okay, so all the attributes what we see at item level. So those attributes we are calling as item attributes, or you can call as operational attributes also. Okay, operational attributes you can call. And setting item profile options. This we will discuss after some time. So now that is not required. So we will see after some time. So once we start working, say for example, you want to change some item number, okay, or else you are going to load the items. We have a different options to create items. We'll discuss going forward. So you can create items, single item at a time. You can create the multiple items, or else you can copy and create the items, or else you can load bulk volume of items into system by using templates, what we call and what is the process. We'll discuss all those. Okay. So when you are dealing with those, the profile options also you can set how the process should work in one go, how many items you can import. Okay, how you can divert that entire process into different batches. So or say you call it the threads. We will discuss all those points. Now I'm not touching the profile options. Okay, so we will discuss after some time, because without doing any transactions, we can see also no issues here. Transaction related, we don't have item related. We'll see that no issues. Okay, nothing is urgent now to understand at this stage. After some time, we'll see that. So item also we created, item we assigned to child inventory organization. Up to here we completed. Now, so we'll go and assign our inventory and product management roles to our user. Okay. So to have access to, see, now we have access to application implementation consultant. That is the reason we are able to access to everything. When it comes to warehouse business user, they should get access to roles. Then only they will be able to have access to the product management or inventory application related pages. Now, being a application implementation consultant user means the role. We assigned application implementation consultant role to our user. Because of the role, you can access everything. You can access everything in the sense transactions anyway you cannot perform until unless you assign the transaction related roles. So we should aware what are the primary roles we have for product management and inventory application. We'll go and assign those roles to users so that we can understand. To those roles, we'll assign our inventory organization. Okay, to those roles, you can assign our inventory organization. We'll go and see that. Okay, let's assign inventory and product management roles to our user. So to assign the roles to user, we know the navigation, we have to go to security console. Okay. Go to security console and find our user. Go to users, find our user. User is Mayo. Search and click on username or display name or username. Click on edit. Now we want to allow this Mayo to product management related tasks, activities, means item creation and all we want to allow. So now this user is able to access because of application implementation consultant role. Say this user doesn't have access to application implementation consultant role. How this user can have access to item creations, item creations and item class creations, etc. with the help of roles only. Okay, which roles will allow this user to have access to product management. Okay, so product management area that we can set up now. Just click on add role. So you can assign the role called as product manager role. Assign product manager role. Both are same. The codes are different. It is starting with ORA, EGP. EGP is the prefix for the product management. Okay, product management related prefix is EGP, and you can select anyone. This is starting EGP product, this is ORA. Anyone you can select. Both will have equal privileges. Select any one of the role. The role name should be exactly product manager. You assign. I'll just add here the same information. So I'll take here product management roles. Sorry. Okay, product management roles. These are seeded roles, Oracle provided roles. Which roles? Product manager. You can select. Other role is product data steward. Assign. I'll show you where you can find all the roles also after some time. Okay, now not required. Let's try to understand these points, which roles we have for which application. Later we can go and see what are the different roles we have and where you can see all those. So this all we can go and analyze it. Not required now. Now we'll go and assign inventory related roles. Okay, inventory related roles to the user. Move this to the and we can keep here, no issues. Okay. These are product management related roles. So let's say inventory roles. Okay. So with these roles, you cannot create any transactions. Okay, transactions you are not going to create. Only you can deal with the product management, means the item related access you can have. Okay, item related setups you can do. Inventory roles for the purpose of primarily to perform the inventory related transactions. Okay, to perform the inventory related transactions, which roles we have to assign to the user. We'll go and see that. So search for the role called as inventory manager. So inventory manager, select inventory manager role. Anyone you can select. Below you can see inventory manager. There is organization codes. Okay, in the very older versions of Fusion applications, there is one concept called as data roles. What system will do is, whenever you create inventory organization, automatically the inventory organization will get assigned to inventory related roles. So that was there up to release 11. Okay, release 11. What is the release which we are using is 13. 13 with the latest patch applications we are using. Up to release 11, there was the logic like whenever you create item inventory organization, that inventory organization can get assigned to all inventory roles. And there was some failure in that process. Sometimes the inventory organizations are getting assigned to the roles, but if you go to that role, you are not able to see that inventory organization. There were many issues related to that concept. That is the reason Oracle completely stopped creating the data roles. Data roles means role plus inventory organization. With respect to inventory, this is what we have to understand. Inventory role automatically system assigns inventory organization. So that was failed. That process, it was not very much fruitful as a best practice. That is the reason Oracle stopped that process, and now they give an option: assign role to your user. To that user role, you go and assign which inventory organization is required. That is a completely manual process now. So these you ignore. This environment, when it was released 8, 9, 10, 11, the sample data they created, there these roles, data roles are created, the same it is reflecting. Now you have to ignore this. In fresh instance, you don't find anything like this. Okay, since it's a practice instance, sample data is available. This environment, they upgraded from 8 to 9, 9 to 11, 11 to 12, 13. That is the reason this was the data which is created in the very older release. You select inventory manager. What we need is inventory manager. We need that you can select and you can assign to this user. Okay. With this inventory manager role, you can perform certain transactions. Which transactions and all we'll see after some time. I will take you through these roles. How to open the role, how to verify what we have, how to copy these roles, how to create our custom roles. Everything we'll discuss. Now let's focus on which roles for which application we have. Let's assign those roles to user to access the same applications. And you can search for warehouse manager role. Search for warehouse manager role. Select assign. Assigned. Make a note when you practice. You can refer this information. When you look at the sheet, this information will be useful for you. I'll share this sheet also. Okay, everything, whatever we discussed. Okay, whatever we are doing, the setups, and when you do the process, what is the steps need to be followed. Everything I write in the spreadsheet. This sheet also I'll share with everyone. I'll place in the Google Drive. Then we assign warehouse manager, and another role you can assign as warehouse operator. Okay, assign warehouse operator role. So assign. Let's make a note. Okay, and we have two more roles. If you want to assign those, you can assign. Otherwise, those roles privileges also available within these roles itself. But anyway, for our understanding, let's assign. Later, you can ignore it. For your understanding purpose, I want to introduce those roles also. So you can assign two more roles, which are very specific to shipping process and the receiving process. Say, receiving agent. What receiving agent can do? The receiving agent can create the receipts. Okay, if you want to create the receipts, these roles will support. That means that role is inside of these roles also. The role privileges we have inside of these roles. Right? So receiving agent, select assign. So other role you can search for shipping agent. See, the shipping and all will do from inventory side only. Okay. The sales orders and all those activities can be done by sales department or call as order management department or application. But the shipping activities need to be initiated from the inventory only. So this is also belongs to inventory. Shipping agent. What shipping agent can do? The picking. Okay. So pick release, ship confirmation against that sales orders from inventory side, picking the items, and they make sure that the shipments are created and ship confirmations done. All those activities can be done by shipping agent. To allow that privileges, this is a separate role we have. These privileges, shipping agent privileges, are available as a part of this role also. These roles also. In these roles we have that privileges also. Just for our understanding, count it. Count it. Done. Fine. Say done. Say save and close. Now to these roles, you have to assign our inventory organization. Okay. You have to assign our inventory organization. So this Mayo user cannot have access to any inventory organization to create the transactions within the inventory. To which inventory organizations you are giving access to this user through inventory roles, those inventory organizations only that Mayo user can have access, because these all are related to transaction creation. Okay, these roles are transaction related roles. So with these roles, you are not going to create any transaction. You don't need to assign anything to this. Okay, you are not going to create any transactions by using this. With these roles only, we create transaction. This is just for setup purpose. So we'll go and assign the roles to, we'll go and assign inventory organization to these roles. In which inventory organizations we can create the transactions? We have two types. One is item master inventory, other one is chain. So in which inventory organization we can create the transactions? Transactions can be performed in which inventory organizations? Child inventory. Okay, item master only for item creation purpose. We never create transaction. It is not possible also to create transactions in item master. Item master only for item definition, to avoid the duplication of creating items in each and every inventory organization. We are using item master organization. So we can assign only child inventory organization to these roles. Since we don't create items, we don't create the transactions in the item master organization. Item master organization cannot be assigned to any one of these roles. Okay, these roles can have access to child inventory only. We'll go and assign. So to assign, okay, to assign item master or child inventory organization to this inventory roles, we have to use one task. Which task we have to use? As a part of primary ledger creation. Okay, we created primary ledger. The primary ledger we assigned to GL role. By using which task we assigned primary ledger to GL role, the same task you can use to assign inventory organization to inventory roles. What was the task we used? Do you remember? To assign primary ledger to GL role, we used one task name. What is the task name? The same task here we require now. What is the task name?
Assign business unit functions.
No. Anyone? See, the point is very clear. To assign primary ledger to GL role, which task we used? The general ledger application we assigned. For general accounting manager role, we assigned our primary ledger, whatever we created. What task we used? Anyone? Do you remember? No. Fine. No issues. So we use the task called as data access for users. By using the task called as data access for users, we assign our primary ledger to GL role. Data access for users. Okay. So I'm writing here. This is not inventory role, just I'll write data access for user. By using this, what we did, we assigned our primary ledger to GL role. Here data access means giving access to primary ledger, we call as a data access. Here now we have to assign our inventory organization to these roles. The same task we will use, data access for users. Okay, data access for users. To these roles, we are going to give the access to inventory organization. Inventory organization we call as data access. We are giving inventory organization access to these roles, that only we call as data access. To these roles, we are providing the data access. The data access is nothing but giving access to our inventory organization. Why we are calling inventory organization as data access? If you give access to these roles to have access to inventory organization, you will be able to create the data, nothing but transactions. That means to create the transactions by using our inventory organization, we are giving access to our inventory organization to these roles. Okay, if you assign inventory to these roles, then only data can be generated, nothing but transactions can be generated. That is the reason you call the task name as a data access for users. Okay, so we'll complete this and we can wind up for today. It's already 4 o'clock. We'll wind up. We just have a cutoff time as of 4, as we discussed earlier. Or else we'll complete this in the tomorrow session. Again, it takes few minutes time, 5 to 10 minutes. So this setup we'll do in the tomorrow session. We completed up to here. Okay, in the tomorrow session, we'll assign inventory organization to user roles. And we have to submit LDAP job for synchronization. We'll discuss. Once we're done with this, we can proceed with the transactions creation within the inventory. Before we create transaction, we'll discuss about what you can do within the inventory organization, what we can do within the inventory application. Okay, by using the inventory organization, what we can create, and the inventory application as integration with which applications for what purposes. We'll go through all those points and we can jump into the system environment to create the transactions. So we're done for today. If you have any questions, please let me know. If no questions, we'll connect tomorrow same time and we'll move on. Any questions from anyone, please? Any questions, please? Okay. So no questions. If no questions, we'll connect tomorrow same time. Thank you all.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.